Does Etrigan the Demon hold the secret to unmasking the Memento Killer once and for all, and what will Batman do? In order to learn these secret truths, well, let's hop into the pages of Batman and Robin issue number 22 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up more or less from where the last issue left off, a disheveled and horrified Damian ends up coming to in a strange cage deep underground in Gotham. Seemingly, he is the prisoner of Professor Atticus Bligh, aka one of Batman's early criminology mentors. I only say seemingly because we've been told multiple times that this guy is supposed to be dead, and furthermore, these panels are arranged in such a way where we're not 100% sure if he's a prisoner too, or the one actually holding the keys. Robin naturally figures out who this guy is and asks him the also important question, what the hell is actually your connection to Memento and Nicodemus Crow? And for that, we get treated to a pretty substantial flashback. We see Atticus investigating the Memento Killer in India. It's there he meets another detective like himself who currently is serving time after going mad trying to solve the case of the blood thief. Another elaborate serial killer who, like Memento, strikes with crimes related to city's own dark histories. This Indian detective felt that he had gotten close to unmasking the blood thief, but during the course of his investigation, his son ended up getting stolen away from him, and taken as a vessel for who or whatever it is that the blood thief, aka the Memento Killer, might be, or to put it another way, the devil that wears my face. This flashback and another file Batman and Lorik end up reading later on in the book basically confirms the theory that whoever the Memento Killer is, they move in cycles. London, India, Japan, and now even Gotham, the MO is the same. Crimes based around famous dark moments in history, but also now, the extra dimension of missing children, and considering that Damian is already gone, you don't need to be the world's greatest detective to put two and two together on what exactly is gonna happen next. Another major revelation in this issue is that Detective Lorik manages to piece it all together and figure that Batman and young Jack, the man that she trained with under Atticus Bligh, are one and the same. She had figured it given his actions, and then hanging out with Damian and seeing how much that the young boy reminded her of young Jack, well, it was pretty easy after that, which I guess this isn't quite the same as her figuring out that Batman and Bruce are the same person, but it's pretty close, all things considered. Now, I know what you might be thinking out there, oh wow, it looks like the story is actually picking up the pace. It looks like we're actually going to be going somewhere meaningful by the time all of this is said and done. Well, no. Because with Damian gone, Philip Kennedy Johnson seems to think what this book really needs is yet another B-plot featuring young people, in this case, the Irregulars, aka the group of homeless boys who Batman has semi-adopted to help him solve crimes in the city, go places that other people can't, like the secret sub-city under Gotham created after No Man's Land. Jeez, I know some people have a problem with Batman deputizing Robins and using them in his war on crime, but here these are just regular old homeless kids that Batman is using as scouts and paying in energy drinks. This just doesn't feel right? Like, I'm not alone in thinking that. In fact, that's like one of the biggest problems in this series overall, and that is that Batman's characterization is all over the damn place. Case in point, he still doesn't feel bad at all about the part he played in his old Professor Atticus going to jail and getting blamed for the Memento Killer's crimes over in London, as he says, hey, the evidence all matched up, what do you want? But like, he saw Memento meet with Atticus back then, he knows he's innocent, and the fact that he refuses to drop any of this and admit that he's wrong really makes him come off like a jerk, especially around Lorik, who has gone out of her way to try and clear her mentor's name all these years. Oh, and they're also sure to mention Daniels again, the third of Atticus's young Scotland Yard proteges who just showed up out of the blue in the previous issue, and yet we acted like he's always been here. Apparently, he left the force to go work for his father, and again, given what we have already been told about Memento's connection to fathers and sons, this is either meant to be the biggest, most obvious red herring ever, or maybe one of the clumsiest late additions to a mystery storyline I've read in a very long time. Now, the only actual piece of evidence that Batman and Lorik have in finding the Memento Killer and hopefully saving Damian is the clue that Robin had managed to to gleam several issues back, and that is whoever Memento is, he speaks in rhymes. And hey, who's another ancient paranormal character who speaks in rhymes? Well, Etrigan the Demon, of course, so Batman is sure to go and look up Jason Blood. Though he sure doesn't treat him like an old superhero friend who they've shared several adventures with, because he ends up putting the screws to him like he's some sort of common criminal. Again, Batman's characterization is all over the damn place in this issue. Eventually, though, Jason does decide to summon up Etrigan, so he can share his demonic insight in rhyme, of course, because that's kind of his gimmick, as we discover the Memento Killer was actually born in Gotham City. And while he might speak like a demon, he's actually something much older, more powerful, and more, well, Lovecraft with tentacles. Basically, Nicodemus Crow and his brother Edmund welcomed this demon into our realm after they were experimenting with Gravedigger's Poppy. They got super high one night, and while Edmund died, Nicodemus ended up opening up his third eye, becoming aware of the higher mysteries, and becoming possessed by this otherworldly entity. One who allowed him to see the vestiges of ancient horrors, and in doing so ended up kickstarting the first cycle of ritualistic murders. Which, you know, like, okay, it's an answer, we finally know for real that the Memento Killer is magical, but at the same time, Cthulhu did it, really? How is it the more we learn about this guy, the less actually interesting he becomes as his lore gets more and more needlessly complex and overwritten? Either way, as the comic comes to a close, Batman's army of irregular homeless children end up coming face to face with Memento, who doses them with Gravedigger's Poppy before attacking them. I mean, I guess being a homeless kid on the streets of Gotham is always dangerous, but it sure does feel like Batman put these kids in the way of a lot of needless harm, huh? And so that was Batman and Robin issue number 22, everybody, and oh man, once again, this Batman and Robin series is a book that I don't think I like very much, and yet I cannot seem to put it down. Which is a real shame, because when this series started, I was really down to clown and was willing to accept the premise. I thought it was cool that Batman and Robin were working together to fight a straight-up paranormal foe, something that they don't normally do in the other books. And yet, somehow, in a way that is almost amazing to me, the more we actually learn about Nicodemus Crow and the Memento Killer, the less interesting and less scary he actually becomes. I have to wonder if Philip Kennedy Johnson always knew the endgame for this mystery, or if this was one of those situations where he was just kind of writing it as he went along. Because that's the general feeling I'm getting from this book right now. Just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And truth be told, I might even have enjoyed the freeform nature of that if Batman wasn't just a total drag. For the bulk of it, he's paranoid, full of himself, defensive. Hell, contrast and compare him to all the other Batmans being written in all the other books right now, and he might as well straight up be a completely different character, one who forgot all the development he got in the last Batman and Robin series. Really, the only saving grace for this series, as far as I can see, is actually Carmine Di Giandomenico's art, which again isn't always my favorite, but it is at the very least compelling to look at. I just wish the story was a little bit more compelling. Overall, I'd give this one a 5 out of 10. I really cannot believe this one has been going on as long as it has. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.